I'm here today with Heather Sinfield, who works with the Lloydminster Sexual Assault Services. Heather, thank you so much for taking some time today to talk about this really important assessment you guys have created.
Absolutely.
So first of all, what is Lloydminster Sexual Assault Services?
So we are a nonprofit organization that has been a part of the Lloydminster community for over 40 years. We celebrated our anniversary in 2023. We provide direct services to those impacted by sexual violence, harassment, exploitation, family violence, other types of bullying, things like that. We provide a wide variety of programs and services to a 200-kilometer radius into both Alberta and Saskatchewan.
Heather, how did this youth online risk assessment come to be?
So I'll tell a little story. We were funded for a 3-year federal grant through the Youth Justice Fund from 2020 to 2023, and we were focusing on youth who displayed sexual behaviors or sexual offenses within families and communities. And we were supporting youth and families for those 3 years. And what we found is that there was a noticeable increase in influences in terms of virtual spaces, online worlds that were affecting how youth were treating other people, the beliefs and behaviors and attitudes towards their bodies, towards intimacy, towards relationships and dating, those kinds of things. And so as we started to dig deeper, we were also noticing that a lot of our clients were coming in struggling with these topics too. And so not only at the youth range, but we were seeing parents and caregivers saying, I don't even know how to have some of these conversations with my youth, with my kids, whether it's about social media and apps, which is an ever-changing phenomenon, whether it's about pornography or gaming. There's so many unanswered questions and changes in growth within that.
And what are some of the goals that the Lloydminster Sexual Assault Services have with this online risk assessment?
The assessments are live until the end of March. And our goal is to have 2,000 submissions in total. So, we have pop-up stands that are throughout the community to engage members to come in and take the assessment or participate in a game with an opportunity to win swag, to learn more about us, and then some social media awareness and campaign pieces to it as well to engage folks online too. From there, our research team, which is comprised of 4 individuals, will look at all of the data and pull together a community recommendations report. And this report will give feedback, insight into what Lloydminster youth and families truly need to have open dialogues about virtual spaces and the challenges and possibilities within it. We also have funding sources that will submit that recommendations report to create sustainable funding and programming based on what we find in the data. So keeping everything within Lloydminster, keeping everything within the hands and minds of our families and youth, but trying to make some accessible program opportunities for healing and wellness.
And Heather, are there any apps that you and your team are really focusing on to learn more about?
I think we could all probably have a few in mind, but we made the assessments broad enough because we want to hear what is directly impacting youth and families and parents first before making any assumptions about maybe what's going on or what impacts. We want to hear from folks first. So I think when we start to look at the data in April and May, it's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of that and what's truly impacting.
And Heather, COVID had a big impact on a lot of things in our city. How did COVID affect the youth of Lloydminster?
I think just from a general perspective, not isolating youth, but I think just in the field of sexual violence, there has been absolutely an increase in online sexual violence and harassment. We're spending, COVID allowed us to spend more time in virtual spaces in whatever that kind of looked like, which just created opportunities to learn from it, but also to maybe engage in things that weren't okay.
And Heather, what would you want people to know about this new youth online risk assessment?
Everyone's voice truly matters